contracts, franchise tags, veterans getting released. Yeah, that's right, Pats fans. It is that time of year, so stick around and stay locked into this Foxborough Finance episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage and also your first listen each and every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots is not only a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, we are also free and available on all platforms. So make sure to smash that subscribe button on YouTube and download and follow wherever you get your podcasts to ensure that you get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated, so reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATE NFL. While you're out there showing some love to Locked On Patriots social media style, please be sure to follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 winning bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And Pats fans, I know that the Patriots' financial health, it's been on your mind for a while now. How much cap space is the team going to have? How much are they willing to spend? Well, fortunately for us, today on the pod, we have the man with the answers, the PatsCap himself. My good friend Miguel Benzan is going to join us in just a second. And not only is Miguel here to set the record straight on all things Foxborough Finance, as he always does, he's even going to give you the chance to play PatsCap. Yeah, I'm going to let him give you the details on that one because today's show is so full of wisdom and counsel. Folks, we almost had to build a bigger studio. And with that, I give you the insight and the fiscal magic of the great and powerful Wizard of Benzan. Pats fans, it is that time of year once again. Your New England Patriots are getting ready to start a new league year, and they're already making moves to try to improve their fiscal health. Well, if we're talking finance, you know we're going to talk Foxborough Finance, and who better to lead us in that discussion than the man I like to call the Pharaoh of Foxborough Finance. Miguel Benzan joins me today. Miguel, thank you so much for coming here and lending your wisdom and counsel the way only you can to Locked On Patriots.
Oh, it's always a pleasure and honor to be on your show, Mike. I love listening to you. It's just awesome. I just like being there. It's like it's so good for my ego.
Well, it's definitely good for our show, and we enjoy having you here just as much as you enjoy being here, and we thank you for always keeping Locked On Patriots in your purview of the rotations that you make and providing all the wisdom and counsel, especially when it comes to Foxborough Finance to Patriots Nation. Folks, he is one of the best Twitter follows you'll find anywhere in New England. Definitely follow him at PatsCap. And Miguel, the Patriots are already busy. They're already hard at work trying to craft a team, a lot of new faces in Foxborough. And that's going to trickle down to the roster. Patriots are already making roster moves in advance of the league year beginning in early March. We saw Lawrence Guy as a salary cap casualty be cut earlier this week. Something that's very near and dear to my heart, a very difficult time for me, folks. Adrian Phillips, no longer a New England Patriot. We saw this one coming. Definite cap savings in mind with these two moves. You have the Patriots projected right now at $74.5 million in cap space when the league year begins. My question to you is, how do the Patriots arrive at that number, and what types of moves are still out there to be made in order for the Patriots to not only operate efficiently, but also operate at a high level when it comes to luring free agents here to Foxborough?
Okay, so Mike asked me, how do I get to that $74.5 million number? All right, cap space number. That's just difference between their adjusted cap number and the cap commitments plus the dead money. As you can see on the screen, folks, right? They carried over $22,317 from last year. All right. I project that they're going to have a positive adjustment of $10.7 million because they had so many players likely to be earned incentives and not earned the likely to be earned active roster bonuses. And they have some guaranteed salary offsets. For example, Brian Hoyer. All right. So that's why they're going to have the league, their projected adjusted cap number is going to be close to $10.7 million more than the official league cap number. I'm currently using $242.5 million. We've heard recently the reports of it may go up to 250. All right. So if it goes up to 250, then my number would go up around $7.3 million. And why not $7.5 million? Because two players, Ramondre Stevenson and Marco Wilson, their salaries are dependent on how much the 24 cap is the increase, over the 24 cap over the 23 cap, because they increased their salaries by earning the proven performance escalator. All right. So no matter, they're gonna get a bump up. And that's one of the big reasons why my number is different from the other sites. The other sites haven't yet accounted for the PPE. Once they do, their cap space will kind of match up with mine. Well, until they put in the $10.7 million. Okay. All right. So that's how I explain it out, Mike. All right. If we bring up the mock off-season tab, how Patriots can create more cap space. All right. So literally, if you could see in, I forget what column this is, E and F, it talks about the cuts. All right. So if they were to cut these players, all right, and there's I put them in alphabetical orders. This is how much, and the number on the right-hand side is how much cap space they would create. And the next column, a couple of them, you see the same players, and this is if they get traded. For most of the time, those numbers, the cap space is the same. But if they have guaranteed salary, like Chris Boyd does, then there would be a difference, because the guaranteed salary the Patriots would be off the hook of paying the guaranteed salary and go to the player's new team. All right. Okay. And folks, I'll just say this right now. Just as a reminder, if you donate any money to the Harvard Habitat for Humanity in the next couple of days, all right, and you show me it that you donate money. Let's make it at least 21 months. Let's make it a donation of at least $20. Okay, I will send you this workbook that I send to Mike. Okay, so you can then play around and have your own Patriots mock off season. All right, because Mike can't show you what the worksheet can do. All right, for example, in where I have Calvin Ridley, all right, and it says Calvin Ridley $13 million in the starting rate column. There's going to be a drop down there, all right, and I have other players in there listed in there, all right. So I choose he's my choice for WR1, all right, and you'll see that for Dalton Choice is my choice for TE1. When you get the workbook, it's gonna those fields will be blank, and you can pick who you want, and you'll have the cap numbers. And this will be the first year cap numbers. It's not going to be the API. It's not how much cash they get. It's what I think their 2024 cap number will be. All right. Okay. So they have, you can see Mike, and you can see in the cuts column, they have many ways to create create cap space. All right.
Right.
Then obviously I put on everyone. All right. So they're obviously not cutting Christian Gonzalez. Okay. But if they did, okay. But so if they did, they would lose $9.7 million in cap space. All right. All right. All right. But
yeah, Cole Strange is looking pretty good there too. That's about a $5 million loss. So I think Christian and Cole are pretty well locked to make this team next year.
Yeah. So but like for Devontae Parker, all right. Mm-hmm. The question then for the Patriots is, are you willing to lose $650,000 in cap space? All right. In off chance that someone will sign him, and then you get a credit for whatever cash he gets in 2024, you'll get the credit in 2025.
Right.
All right. That's something for them to think about. I mean, because when you have this much cap space, Mike, all right, you can afford to have you can afford to have big money total, dead money totals.
Pats fans, I know that you are mesmerized by Miguel's cap wisdom, and the good news, folks, is he isn't even close to being done yet. When we return here on Locked On Patriots, Miguel is going to continue to prognosticate the Patriots' path to prosperity and give you the financial blueprint to do it. All this and more when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This next segment is brought to you by our sponsor, BetterHelp. And folks, sometimes we all need the opportunity to get something off our chest. Whether it's big or small, certain things can really start to get to you. It's important to let that out, especially to someone who's unbiased on your life. So today, I want to say how I really feel about something. And you may even be thinking about the same thing this week, too. As Patriots fans, we're all excited for a new era here in Foxborough. A new head coach in Gerard Mayo, a brand new coaching staff, and hopefully the start of a new championship run. But I know there's also a bit of melancholy out there. Bill Belichick is no longer the head coach. Matthew Slater is officially retired. And it just feels like the glory days in New England are slipping away. You're conflicted, and it's understandable to be overwhelmed by your feelings. Well, the same concept is true with all of life's circumstances, and therapy can help. Therapy can be different for everyone. And let's face it, most of us have bigger problems than our favorite sports team. And it's important to get things off your chest every once in a while. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible, and suited to your schedule. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedon to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Pats fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots. And without further ado, we return you to the Pharaoh of Foxborough Finance as he continues to take a crystal ball style look at the Patriots' plans for 2024.
So they have the ways, and they have several ways to do it. They can get up too. I have on the thing, I have J.C. Jackson. I really think he's gone. All right. And then you can see that I'm presuming that Mac Jones gets traded. But if I wanted to, Mike, I could get up to $90 million in cap space easy, and especially if it goes up to 250, the Patriots get to 95 with two things: J.C. Jackson getting released, and they announced the league cap number at $250 million. The Patriots gets up to $95 million in cap space. All right, okay. And then if you have $95 million in cap space, you can pretty much do anything you want in terms, especially if you structure the deals with a low cap number in year one, which year one being 2024. All right. I don't know. We don't know. One of the things I'm looking forward to, Mike, is trying to find out how the Patriots are going to structure the deals. Are they going to do it different? And what I mean by that, folks, is that a Patriots contract typically has, for a veteran, active roster bonuses. All right. Most of the time they have incentives. Most of the time the player gets a signing bonus and a low salary year one, maybe in low year two, and a high salaries in the later years of the contract, years 3 and 4 and 5. All right. We will see how they do that. Will they go more? Will they continue to do that? I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out. The two cuts that they did make did not surprise me at all. So I can't read anything into the Patriots front office from that. Because if you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been saying that I didn't think Adrian Phil's be on his roster for a long time. And I thought that I didn't think, and I said this, I tweeted out that I don't think that Lawrence Guy was going to be on both Lawrence Guy and Devon Gottschall would be on the roster at the same. I thought one of them would for sure would go. All right. I think it's Lawrence Guy. We know it's Lawrence Guy. Now the question then becomes with Devon Gottschall. You could see like here, that either way, if you cut him or you trade him, you create $7.5 million in cap space. Now, if you want to, the interesting thing about Garchon, and you'll see that on my offseason plan, I'm trying to sign Christian Wilkins. All right. And I'm also willing to do that. And I should have had this in this thing. Is like, if I'm signing Christian Wilkins, I'm not disrespecting Christian Barmore. All right. So I'm whatever defensive tackle, I want to put him. I would also try to extend him and get him extended too. I should have had that in the offseason plan, but I ran out of time. Because I started doing this, Mike, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they got so much cap space. I really can account for this spot. I pretty much, like you see, if we want to talk about the offseason plan, I fill out my RB2 spot with Ezekiel Elliott. The second round spot is me filling out the left tackle spot. All right. Calvin Ridley fills out my WR1 spot, my wide receiver 1. Dalton Schultz and Adam Trotman fill out my 2 tight end spots. I'm definitely signing Farrell Brown, but his deal is so small, I didn't feel like pulling it up there. All right. Okay. Michael Waddle's my right tackle. Jacoby Brissett is my QB2. I'm re-signing Cal Duggar, so I have my safety. Christian Wilkins I'm gonna double up on my defensive tackles. I'm signing him, and I'm gonna try to extend Christian Barmore. All right, my QB1, that odd number is the current draft slot. How much if you drafted a player in the 3rd overall pick, that would be his 2024 cap number. Okay. So I'm thinking whoever it is, it's Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, or Drake May. Whoever it is in there, that's my QB1. All right. Sorry, Murph. I know he's big time into Joe Alt. I just think you got to pick the QB1 this year. All right. So that's what. So folks, like when you get this workbook, you'll see you should be able, if you know Excel a little bit, you should be able to at least copy the formulas. And you'll see I have RB2s and LTs, and you can't see it on the screen, but I also have on to the right some other positions, all right, in there. And the numbers you see is, once again, the 2024 cap number. It's not the APY. It's not how much caps they're going to get in 2024. It's just the 2024 cap number. All right. If you wanted to cut more people than J.C. Jackson, that total would change. All right. And you see that in my offseason plan, Mike, I end up with around $16.3 million. All right. And and I wanted to end with that, around that number. Why? Because that's how much cap space the Patriots used from the start of training camp to the end of the 23 league year. And that was, remember, they had a lot of players going IR. All right. So they had a ridiculous amount. So that gives that, if we do, I have that for a cushion. All right. And then also, so if they have better health, they'll have more cap space to acquire someone at the trade deadline. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, so I think that's my offseason plan. I didn't want to go into try to fill in the entire 53-man roster because we would be here all night. I just want to go big picture wise. All right. Because imagine we did all 53 spots, Mike. We would there's not enough water for.
Probably not. I mean, Gerard Mayo kind of alluded to that on Wednesday when he talked about the long process now ahead of building the roster and getting together with Elliott Wolf and Matt Groh and kind of going through the draft process, the free agent process. They're talking months long processes here that are going to be happening. Miguel almost tackled this in one night, folks. Keep that in mind next time you wonder, what.
It took me a while to come up with these numbers.
Yeah, we're talking semantics here. there, man. I mean,
Okay,
look at the work that you've done over here. I mean, the New England Patriots roster in Miguel's hands looking pretty good right now, folks. On that tab, if you should get that, and I can definitely tell you, not only does it go to a worthy cause, but Miguel's Miguel's work that he's done here is phenomenal. You're going to have a lot of fun playing with this. I know I did. And, with guys like Ridley and Schultz and Trotman and kind of plugging in what he did and giving you an opportunity to see how these numbers can be adjusted in real time using Excel cells and spreadsheets and formulas. It really is remarkable, man. I love what you've done here. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you. It was fun to do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have a lot of cap space, and if it goes up to 250, right, the league, yeah, the teams won't adjust how much they're paying until 2025. It's like this is the year to get players on a bargain, because because no one knows what next year's cap number is going to be. All right, so this is like if it went up to 250, look good, and that's about $25 million. If it continues to go up, if the plan is to keep on going up $25 million a year, oh good Lord, you're gonna see prices go up big time. All right. So yeah, let's just talk about a couple of deals for the players who I hopefully they resign, because I don't know how they don't. Like literally, then like Mike, like the whole Murph thing about drafting Joe Alt, it becomes like essential if they don't resign Mike Owano.
Absolutely.
All right, or you have to go with maybe like a Jonah Williams for left tackle and someone, or right tackle, someone else, right? So at the end of the day, I'm giving him $17 million. And I find some people, I've heard people on some podcasts like $13.5 million. I'm like, if he was going to sign for $13.5 million, he would have already signed.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
So glad that you said that, because that is a common question I get an awful lot, is what are the amounts that the Patriots might discuss? Why hasn't Mike Owanu been extended yet? Why haven't they prioritized this a little bit more? And I think, folks, Miguel has laid this out very well. This is all meticulously, worked out in terms of what he projects will be the deal or could be the deal with a 17 million annual per year average. But at the same time, you have to get to that happy medium. The Patriots are not going to automatically go there. Michael Waynu is not going to automatically back off. They want to reach that accord. 13.5 million is just not enough to get it done, not with what he could get on the open market. He knows his value. He realizes that he can not only go to a team and revolutionize the way that they play the tackle position, but he can also be a very effective guard. That's his natural position. So he knows his value. He's going to go out there and he's going to get it. Patriots are going to have to pay for it if they want it.
Right, because let's say the league cap number is 250, and I like that number just because it's a round number. All right, that's an 11% increase from 2023. Right, so if you say, hey, this guy got this deal in 2023, and Michael Owanu is the same, but you got to give him 11% more just to match the cap. And folks, that's real. That happens, and that really happens. All right, that the agents will try to match the increase in the cap. All right, so people say, well, he doesn't deserve $17 million. All right, well, that's because we're all used to thinking of the past, what happened in the past, where $17 million is now might be the same percentage of a $13.5 million deal of a play you're thinking about in the past, because the cap was small then. All right. I don't think, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't mind being wrong, but if he signs for $13.5 million, I'm wondering why it wasn't done last year.
That's a fair question.
Yeah, and because the top of the market, Mike, is like over 20.
Right.
I mean, for even if you say right tackle versus left tackle, right? Elton Jenkins, who's as versatile as Michael Owanu is, right? He got a deal, and I adjusted that 17 million. I just adjusted for the cap. All right, I'm just trying to my incentives, same incentives as Jenkins. All right, and I'm saying if you put him at guard, then you're paying him as an elite guard. If you put him at right tackle, then you're paying him as a good right tackle. I mean, folks, and let's realize who's going to be out there in free agency at the tackle spot, right? By now you've probably seen the list. 2 of the top 5 offensive free agent tackles are Trent Brown and Michael Wano. This is not the year to try to get one in free agency. It's actually never hardly ever. Let's say getting an offensive tackle, a good one, in free agency is not as easy as getting a wide receiver or a cornerback or a safety. It's just, good quarterbacks, great quarterbacks never hit free agency. All right. If you're a great tackle, it's likely that you're not going to hit free agency. It's more likely you can't work out a deal. You could probably get traded. Okay. So they can get a first round pick for you.
Pats fans, Miguel has broken the wisdom and counsel meter, as you can all see and have heard all throughout this episode. But there is still more insight to come. When we continue in a segment unique to Locked On Patriots, Miguel is going to set the record straight on all of those erroneous cap myths that are flowing around out there and still causing him some difficulty in giving you the most accurate salary cap information when it comes to your New England Patriots. Miguel takes us there when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. If you want to make your viewing of your favorite green team in the hub a little more profitable, then definitely do so with our good friends over at FanDuel. Because with FanDuel, you can bet on all of your favorite NBA players and teams with things like quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Pats fans, as always, thank you for choosing Locked On Patriots as part of your daily New England Patriots coverage. And Miguel Benzan, the PatsCap himself, has more than delivered the goods here today. But he's ready to set the record straight. So let's get back to the action as the great and powerful Wizard of Benzan takes us back home.
I also hope they extend Kyle Duggar.
Well, as long as we're talking about Duggar, I know you've done a little bit of work on him because he's obviously, if Mike Owenu is priority 1 for the New England Patriots internally in terms of free agents, Kyle Duggar's got to be definitely close on that list. What are the prospects of bringing Duggar back?
See, he's an older person, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his best chance to get a big money deal. All right. So the question I run into is if they can't reach a deal with him, they said, well, they can afford with having so much cap space to have him at the tag number.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then when he's 29 years old, then he hits free agency. All right. So he's has that to think about. Does he want to hit free agency at the age of 29? Or does he want to take a deal that's maybe not as good as he thinks he should get, but he has some long-term security? Because any deal he signs in 2024 is going to guarantee his be on the roster in 2024, guarantees that he's going to be on the roster in 2025. There's a good chance he's going to be on the roster in 2026, at least in the beginning part. All right. Or he's going to definitely have the chance to, if he's not on the roster in 2026, he gets cut. He's going to probably cut early part of the offseason so he can get on with another team.
Fascinating stuff. And again, when it comes to Duggar, you have to weigh all of the possibilities. You have to weigh and you have to take a look at all the angles. The emergence of someone like a Jabril Peppers has definitely caused at least the Patriots to have to think about this a little bit more, because now if you decide that you want to let Kyle Duggar test free agent waters and they don't decide to use the franchise tag on him, If that is indeed the case, now all of a sudden you talk about maybe using Marte Mapu in that role and not taking him out of a linebacker role, using him as a safety. I happen to think he's a much better fit on this roster as a linebacker rather than a pure safety, but the Patriots may have that option. And then you may go the draft route and see what's out there as well. And there are, players that can be had for the Pats with the draft capital that they have in maybe the early to mid to later rounds. So all of these factors factor in, folks. But if you're wondering how the Patriots make it work financially, I think, again, Miguel has laid out a masterclass here so far in internal free agents and a mock offseason that, again, is to me is second to none here.
Thank you. So actually, we should talk about the 2024 FAs. I had it sorted by the type, and then the snaps, and then the age. All right, Mike. So, is there any play here that you think I might be wrong on?
All right, so let's take a look at what Miguel has done here, folks. Obviously, he's got Kyle Duggar, Michael Wainu, Miles Bryant, Hunter Henry, Anthony Jennings staying. Yeah, I'm pretty well good with that. I think pretty much anything else right now is just gravy. No, I'm kidding, folks. But okay. No, bottom line, so far, I think he makes a good point. Look, Hunter Henry is probably going to be the linchpin in this. If the Patriots decide that the job that he did as a captain this year is going to be necessary in order to move this team forward on the field, then I think they're wise to keep him in Foxborough. He has ties to the area now. He knows the team. He knows the situations. He knows a lot of these players. And the players did look up to him in the locker room. I can tell you he was a very well-respected team captain. So I do believe that Hunter Henry will stick around. I hope we're right in this case. But I also see the argument for going against it because he may command pretty good amount on the open market. The Patriots may know that, not be willing to match it, and maybe they do go with someone like a Dalton Schultz, who probably will command about the same type of money annually, but maybe not just for as long as Hunter is looking. Hunter's getting up there now as, you can see 29, maybe his last opportunity to cash in with a big deal. He may want to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, I think you're absolutely right on Josh Uche. I think he's going to find greener pastures elsewhere. I think the Patriots know that, and I think that's why you're going to see him move on. One that I do look at and say I think has a 50-50 chance of happening is Zeke Elliott. I think Zeke definitely loved playing here. I think he enjoyed his time in New England. I think he would be open to it, but I think he proved last year that not only is he capable of being a goal line or a red zone threat, and really a capable receiver out of the backfield in those situations, he can still run the ball between the tackles. And because of that, I think there may be a team out there, who knows, maybe an NFC team that knows him and knows his capabilities from the years of playing in Dallas that might be willing to pay him a little more than New England is going to. So that's the one right now that I'm a little on the fence with. I think you're well on the mark with all of these. I see the Patriots retaining Kendrick Bourne and everything he brings to the table. I think it's important to keep him here. Mack Wilson is someone I think who had a very impressive 2023. I think if anything earlier this week taught us is that Trent Brown has probably played his final down in New England. I think it's probably best for all sides that is indeed the case. So once again, Miguel, I think you've knocked it out of the park. I don't see any problems here at all.
Okay, so I should say to people, why do I think that Terez Hall is going to leave? All right. The Patriots' history is that when a player spends the first couple of years on the NFL on IR, when he has a chance to become a free agent, they don't tend to run again. So I switched my mind on Trey Nixon. All right. Okay. I used to think he was staying because he was Ernie's last pick, but now I think past history tells me that he's going to leave because that's what they've done in the past. If I'm wrong, it doesn't really matter because because his salary is so low, it's not going to change my cap number at all. All right. The only one out of the ERFAs, if I'm wrong about that, changes my cap number would be Christian Ellis because his salary is $985,000. All the other guys have a salary lower than that. They wouldn't be in the top 51. All right. And they have, I mean, really, they because of what they've done and the retirements already, they have a smaller list than some teams. All right.
No.
Yeah. So, okay. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to say this, Mike. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to it, Mike, but I want to see the deals, the structure of the deals more than anything else.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good point to make. And you kind of made this point a little bit the last time that you came here, and you sat with us and gave your wisdom and counsel to Locked On Patriots about the difference in philosophy now that Bill Belichick is not running the show
Yeah,
and he's not commanding that front office and structuring the deals and working, with players. This is now in the hands of, it looks like Elliott Wolf is going to be probably the alpha in the room when it comes to negotiating free agent deals, although I'm sure Matt Groh, as former director of player personnel, is going to have his input. Gerard Mayo is going to have his hands in this as well. There's going to be a lot of notable guys in the room that are going to know how to get players here and convince them that New England is the spot for them. The way you do that is obviously sell them on the team, sell them on the personnel, sell them on the head coach. But it's about the checkbook. It's about writing
yeah,
those numbers. It's about showing your appreciation or showing your desire to have them in Patriot blue by doling out the contracts. And that's exactly what Miguel has shown us here, whether it's internal free agents, external free agents, or having a little fun at the expense of a mock off season. This is not Foxborough Finance 101 anymore, folks. This is an advanced masterclass that this man just gave you tonight in terms of what Miguel has done here, folks. Again, not only are you donating to a worthy and a great cause, but you're also getting the opportunity to play Patriots GM. Who better to give
yeah.
you that wisdom, that counsel, and that ability than the guy, in my opinion, that should be running the whole show up in Foxborough? I don't say that with any hesitation. He should be, because he's always right. He's always on the money. And folks, I think he proved that again tonight with some of his projections.
Thank you. And I should say this: if I don't, I'm probably giving away a secret or two. All right, someone's gonna find out who's signing the contracts. I knew, but in the past it was Matt Groh. Is he still signing the contracts? We'll find out.
We will. We absolutely will
Yeah,
find out.
it'd
And
be interesting. Like if he's not signing the contracts now, that that's a big sign for me.
exactly. A little mystery coming out of Foxborough, but you know what? No mysteries wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma here on Locked On Patriots. We got the super sleuth right here, folks. That's another name I'm going to tag on to you, my friend. We got Pharaoh of Foxborough Finance. We got Super Sleuth. We got Patriots Salary Cap Top Gun. Folks, he wears them all well. What can I say? The title that I value most about you is a great friend. And you have been for a number of years, from the time that I started covering the New England Patriots to the very present day. Miguel has been such a support to me, to Locked On Patriots. And no matter where I did my writing, whether it be Cover 32 to Full Press Coverage to Sports Illustrated to Fan Nation, he's followed me along all of that time, and he's continued to be a valued friend. I've always said that any salary cap question or finance related matter I need help on, I go directly to Miguel. I do not have a second, third, or fourth source. He's the only one I need. And frankly, he's the only one I think anyone in Patriots Nation needs to listen to. But thank you so much for joining me here today. Before I let you go, it's a Foxborough Finance tradition. Are there any of those erroneous salary cap myths out there that you've been dying to set the record straight on? Please let us know.
How do I say this politely? Folks, I have a day full-time job. I'm not gonna be the first person to report on the cap savings of a cut. I won't be, right? Because I have a job during the day. Especially if the cut happens during the day. But I'll tell you this: I'll be the most accurate report of the cut, and you can see that with the two cuts that just happened. People kept on saying $6 million. One reason, and I have it as $5.17 million. One reason for the difference is they weren't accounting for the top 51 effect. Another reason was they didn't account for Lawrence Guy actually having a higher cap number. They were looking at a website that had him with a lower cap number because they didn't account for his incentives. So the fact that he got cut eliminates the difference, one of the differences between me and the other sites. So that just keeping in mind that the top 51. Right, when you think about cuts, because I saw someone say you could cut a player who had like a $1.3 million cap hit and get $1.3 million cap savings. That's not true. All right. Because a rookie is going to replace him, or somebody who's making $795,000. That's what a rookie gets paid this year. A guy with a 1 year in the NFL is getting paid $915,000. All right. So that one of those players is going to replace him. So you're not saving $1.3 million. I think the person referred to Jamal Hasty. All right. You're not saving $1.3 million. You're saving the difference between him and the guy who replaces him. And that's the biggest thing I wish the media did a better job of explaining. And then let's not even talk about the franchise tag and the 120% rule. All right. Yeah, folks. It's been around forever. All right. It's not like a math thing. It's been in the rule book forever. Stop saying that Hunter Henry's tag number is $12 million. It's 18.6. All right. And that's because there's a 20% rule. They're not, the NFLPA, as bad as a union it is, did not agree to the player would have to take a pay cut if they got franchise tag. And that's, I mean, I'm going to just go say, logically would tell you that it wouldn't happen, that you would agree to a pay cut as you got franchise tag. Yet people would, at least 3 beat writers said it. It's such a, you asked me I want to be ended in a positive note, but that just, I know I'm a cap geek, but literally that's their job. That's what they get paid to. I do this as a hobby. All right. And for them to put it out there, it's just, oh my gosh, it was just annoying. I'll just say this: in the next couple of days, you're gonna hear that player X got a 4-year, $50 million deal. Right? That's 12.5. He averaged out to $12.5 million. That doesn't mean in 2024 his cap number is that. All right.
Right.
But also, that deal could be fluffed up, because remember, most of the times you hear about these deals comes from the agent, and they want to present those numbers as big as possible to help them recruit other players.
Oh, of course.
Right? Okay, so folks, we're like Mike Lombardi says, we're in the lying time. All right, so those first deals you hear, those first reports, oh my gosh, they overpaid for the guy. Wait for the numbers to really come in, and most of the time you find that it's a much smaller deal.
Yeah. I think we all learned that the hard way in 2021 when the Patriots broke out the checkbook for the first time in a long while, and they were signing some of those monster deals. Miguel was one of the first, and he kept beating that drum, and I was beating the drum along with him because, again, he's educated me so much on this, starting off as an older rookie beat writer a few years ago and trying to learn the nuances of the salary cap. Without this man's guidance, it would have been very, very difficult, especially when it comes to things like the 120% rule. And of course, knowing the difference between the reported numbers and the actual numbers. Miguel, you walk that tightrope and you walk it very well. And thank you once again for setting the record straight here on Locked On Patriots. Thanks for providing all of us with a lot of fun in terms of thinking about what the Patriots might do or might not do. Don't forget, folks, visit Miguel's Twitter page at PatsCap. You can get the link right there. The work that this man does for Habitat for Humanity is so inspiring. Always work tirelessly to try to make the dream of someone getting their own home a reality. And I can't think of a better cause. I can't think of a better way to support what he does than to buy into a little Foxborough Finance fund for yourself and try to build your own roster and be able to do it with some of the great stuff that he's laid out here today.
All right, $20. Send me a DM, show me the receipts, and I'll send you the same workbook I sent Mike. All right. All right. I will actually, in between now and the weekend, I'll add more and more positions. I just went with the positions I thought they would address in free agency right away. I did not put all the positions on that workbook because I'm like, I didn't go deep in the cornerback position because I think they're deep there. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Absolutely.
if you want to go deep, I'm going to add some more players in the cornerback position.
Hey, you
God
know
bless
what?
everyone, and good luck, and thank you for any donations. I appreciate it all. Any donation, folks. I know we were 4-4. I didn't play one snap. They were 4-13 last year. We'll see what happens this year. I mean, the thing for me, Mike, why shouldn't I be optimistic? Why shouldn't I be an optimist? Everyone's 0-0 right now.
Absolutely. It's a new year, a new dawn, a new
Yeah.
day. If you have any questions about Foxborough Finance, refer to this show, refer to Miguel's Twitter page, most importantly, because all the great work that he does is always cleanly outlined there. And what can I say? He is the salary cap top gun. No plaque for the alternates, bud, because there is no equal. The man is the best of the best. And with that, folks, I thank all of you everydayers out there, and you casual listeners, and maybe some of you first timers that are joining us here to absorb Miguel's wisdom and counsel. Thank you for choosing Locked On Patriots today, and we hope you keep coming back for more because we are just scratching the surface. Draft coverage, mock draft Monday, free agency talk, new coaching staff, all of that and more. We're going to continue to cover that each and every day here, so stay locked in to Locked On Patriots. But in the meantime, on behalf of my good friend Miguel Benzan, I'm Mike Debate, reminding all of you to stay safe and to stay well and to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you back here again next time on Locked On Patriots.